Why would an entire American city build a complete subway system underground and then never let a single passenger ride it? Yet perfectly normal for a millionaire to bury a bowling alley under a hardware store just to drink illegally. Welcome to 71 secret underground spaces, built for ridiculous reasons in every single state, where we are exposing the wildest hidden worlds beneath America, like the town that burned to the ground and just moved underground permanently, and the government mountain stuffed with millions of pounds of secret cheese. So hit that subscribe button before we pull back the surface. 1. Nobody was supposed to know what was hiding beneath that perfectly normal mansion in Alpharetta, Georgia. From the outside, it looked like any other expensive neighborhood home. But deep underneath that house, someone had quietly built a 15,000 square foot fortified bunker with a full military command center. The man who built it hired one of the world's top security experts, the same kind of person who protects heads of state. While his neighbors lived completely normal lives above ground, this man had built himself an entire secret world below it. 2. Something strange was happening beneath the sandstone caves of Wabasha, Minnesota, and almost nobody knew about it. Mobsters had quietly carved out a secret underground casino inside those ancient caves. And one of America's most wanted criminals, John Dillinger, kept showing up there like it was his personal clubhouse. The FBI was desperately searching for him across the entire country. Meanwhile, Dillinger was sitting underground in Minnesota completely relaxed. The caves hid everything perfectly: the gambling tables, the drinks, the criminals. Nature had accidentally built the perfect hideout, and the mob had figured that out long before anyone else did. 3. Something was running beneath the streets of downtown Boise, Idaho, and most people walking above had absolutely no idea. Back in the early days, the city built the very first geothermal district heating system in the entire nation. Hot water was pumped through pipes running under the streets to heat buildings above. But when the system changed and upgraded over the years, something strange was left behind. A forgotten network of abandoned hot water tunnels just sitting silently beneath the city. Nobody uses them now. They just exist down there in the dark, waiting for someone to remember they are there. 4. There is a drainage tunnel hiding beneath Highway 89 in Utah, and the moment you see it, your brain will refuse to accept what it is looking at. Someone carved a massive tunnel by hand and shaped it to look exactly like the inside of a giant monster's digestive system. The walls curve and twist in ways that feel deeply wrong. And the reason this thing was built will make you even more confused. It was constructed simply to stop dirt from washing onto a road during rain. An entire monster tunnel, built to handle mud. Utah did not have to do this, but Utah did it anyway. 5. Beneath the streets of Houston, Texas, there is an entire world that most visitors never find out exists. 7 miles of fully air-conditioned pedestrian tunnels run silently under 95 city blocks connecting buildings across downtown. The tunnels were not built for emergencies or safety. They were built because corporate executives refused to walk outside in the Houston heat and sweat through their expensive suits. An entire underground city was constructed just to protect the comfort of businessmen. Thousands of people use these tunnels every single day, and tourists walking above them on the scorching pavement have absolutely no clue any of it is down there. 6. On a mysterious island in New York, there sits a castle that holds one of the strangest secrets ever built by a rich man with too much free time. A sewing machine tycoon named Singer had this castle constructed on Dark Island, and somewhere beneath it, he quietly ordered a secret tunnel to be built, leading away from the main dining room. The reason behind it is almost too ridiculous to believe. He built it purely so he could escape boring dinner guests without having to say goodbye to any of them. A tunnel, designed entirely for avoiding awkward social situations, built by a millionaire who simply refused to say goodnight. 7. Los Angeles has always had secrets, but this one ran 11 miles long and hid directly beneath the city streets. During Prohibition, a network of public service tunnels already existed under downtown. But someone in a position of power had a different idea for what those tunnels could be used for. The tunnels were quietly hijacked and transformed into a massive underground bar crawl, and the person behind it was not some random criminal. This operation had direct ties to city leadership. An 11-mile illicit drinking network running beneath Los Angeles, while law enforcement walked the streets above, completely unaware of what was happening directly under their feet. 8. Cincinnati, Ohio was supposed to have one of the greatest subway systems ever built in America. Engineers designed it, workers dug it, miles of tunnels were completed beneath the city. Stations were finished and ready, and then nothing happened. Not a single passenger ever rode through those tunnels. The money ran out before the trains ever arrived, and the entire system was simply sealed up and left exactly as it was. Today, those tunnels still sit beneath Cincinnati, perfectly preserved and completely silent. A fully built subway system that never carried a single person, just waiting underground for trains that were never coming. 9. Somewhere beneath the scorching valley floor of Fresno, California, a man spent 40 years of his life digging. Baldassare Forestieri had immigrated to America with dreams of farming, but the summer heat in the San Joaquin Valley was absolutely unbearable. So he did what any perfectly logical person would do. He dug underground, by hand, alone. For 4 decades, he carved out a 10-acre subterranean home complete with rooms, courtyards, and an underground garden where he grew actual fruit trees beneath the earth. He figured out how to route sunlight down into the tunnels for the plants. One man quietly building an entire underground civilization beneath California because he refused to be hot. 10. Hidden beneath one of the most luxurious resorts in all of West Virginia sits one of the most classified secrets the American government ever tried to hide in plain sight. The Greenbrier Resort was famous for wealthy guests and elegant rooms, but deep underneath it, workers had quietly constructed a massive Cold War bunker designed to shelter the entire United States Congress in the event of a nuclear attack. For decades, the bunker was disguised as an oversized commercial storage room for filing documents. Nobody questioned it. Guests ate dinner and played golf, directly above a secret government facility built to survive the end of the world. 11. Las Vegas millionaire looked at nuclear war and decided the apocalypse needed to be luxurious. He buried a 15,000 square foot home 26 feet underground in the Nevada desert. Fake skylights mimicked real daylight down there, and a swimming pool sat comfortably next to a putting green. Regular Americans were hiding under school desks, practicing survival drills, while this man was perfecting his golf swing beneath artificial sunlight. He did not fear the end of the world because he had already furnished and decorated it better than most people decorate their actual homes. 12. Portland, Oregon had a hospitality problem that was genuinely terrifying for anyone visiting the wrong saloon. Secret basement tunnels ran from certain bars directly to the waterfront, and trapdoors were quietly installed into the saloon floors. Drunk patrons would fall through those floors and wake up on a ship sailing out to sea with no explanation and absolutely no way home. The whole operation was disgustingly efficient and completely invisible from the street above. Portland was kidnapping its own bar customers through the floor and sending them across the ocean while the city smiled and minded its own business. 13. Chicago believed it had complete knowledge of everything beneath its streets, and that belief turned out to be embarrassingly wrong. A private company received permission to lay telephone cables underground, which sounded completely harmless at the time. What they actually built was 60 miles of secret freight train tunnels running beneath the entire city without official approval. Tiny trains moved goods under Chicago for years, while city officials had absolutely no idea any of it existed down there. The company quietly upgraded its own plans and told nobody. Hiding an entire train system beneath a major American city is surprisingly easy, apparently. 14. Miners crawled into a cave beneath Lovelock, Nevada, chasing bat droppings because guano was valuable fertilizer, and these men wanted it badly enough to go underground. They dug deep and hit something that had absolutely nothing to do with bats. Ancient Native American artifacts were buried perfectly beneath the deposits with tools and weapons and remained sitting undisturbed in the dark for thousands of years. These men went underground hunting waste and accidentally stumbled into one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in Nevada history. Nevada has a remarkable talent for hiding genuinely important things in extremely undignified locations. 15. One corporation in 19th century New York had a mill needing water power, and their solution to that simple problem was completely unhinged. They commissioned workers to blast an underground canal through solid bedrock beneath Lockport using 19th century hand tools and sheer determination. An entire underground waterway was carved through rock purely for one company's private convenience with zero public benefit whatsoever. Just one corporation deciding that drilling through solid New York bedrock was a perfectly reasonable business decision. The tunnel worked, the mill got its power, and somewhere beneath Lockport that ridiculous canal still exists, judging absolutely nobody. 16. America once produced so much surplus cheese that the government needed an underground mountain in Kansas to hide it all. A private magnate purchased a massive limestone cave system beneath Atchison with perfect natural temperature and humidity year-round. The government quietly filled those caves with millions of pounds of dairy products sitting hundreds of feet below the Kansas plains. Farmers worked their fields above while an underground kingdom of government cheese waited silently in the dark for distribution orders. America had a classified cheese bunker inside a real cave, and that sentence describes something that genuinely happened in this country. 17. Chinese immigrant workers in Pendleton, Oregon, built an entire underground city because the streets above were simply not safe enough for them to live on. They dug tunnels, built rooms, and created a hidden community beneath the city just to survive ordinary daily life. Then, white business owners discovered those tunnels and immediately took them over to move illegal cargo and horses away from public view. A community built underground purely for protection was converted into a criminal operation by the exact people those tunnels were originally designed to hide from. Pendleton buried that story almost as deep as the tunnels themselves. 18. Bryant Park in New York City has a door that millions of visitors walk past every single year without ever questioning what it leads to. Behind that unremarkable entrance, stairs descend into a massive underground vault holding millions of library books in a climate-controlled bunker directly beneath the park. The library ran out of space above ground and simply went downward instead of outward. Tourists take photos and eat lunch there daily, with no idea that millions of books sit quietly in the dark directly beneath their feet. New York hid an entire library underground and casually called it a park. 19. Tennessee law enforcement spent years hunting moonshiners while consistently searching at completely the wrong altitude. Wonder Cave was a legitimate tourist attraction running daily public tours through its natural chambers. But deeper inside those same caves, someone had secretly installed wooden stairs and hidden platforms far from the tour path. Illegal liquor was being brewed in total darkness, while authorities searched the hillsides above with zero success. Stone walls absorbed every sound, and the cave temperature kept the whole operation running perfectly. An entire illegal distillery hummed along inside the earth, and the cave kept that secret far better than any moonshiner ever did. 20. A former limestone mine beneath rural Pennsylvania became one of Hollywood's most important addresses, and almost nobody outside the industry knows it exists. Iron Mountain converted that abandoned mine into a heavily secured underground vault and began storing original master film prints from major studios inside those stone chambers. Those reels represent decades of cinema that simply cannot be replaced if ever lost or destroyed. The mine maintains a perfect preservation temperature completely naturally without mechanical assistance year-round. Original footage from some of the most celebrated films ever made sits locked inside a Pennsylvania mountain, while the entire world above remains completely unaware. 21. Sarah Winchester inherited a rifle fortune and immediately became convinced that the ghosts of everyone killed by Winchester guns were coming after her personally. Her solution was to build a bizarre labyrinth of underground rooms and dead-end staircases beneath her California mansion to confuse them. She kept construction going 24 hours a day for decades without stopping. Staircases lead into ceilings, doors open into walls. The whole underground maze was designed purely to outsmart ghosts, who apparently had excellent navigation skills. Sarah spent millions of dollars playing hide-and-seek with the dead beneath her own home. 22. A massive fire burned Havre, Montana straight to the ground, and the town faced a choice about what to do next. Most towns would rebuild above ground and move forward normally. Havre did not do that. Instead, businesses, brothels, and opium dens simply relocated permanently underground into the burned wreckage beneath the destroyed streets. An entire functioning town operated completely below ground level for years, with shops, saloons, and underground businesses running daily life. Avery essentially looked at total destruction and decided the logical response was to move the whole town downward and keep going like nothing happened. 23. Rochester, New York built an underground aqueduct to move boats through the city, and that alone is already a strange enough story. But then the city converted that same boat tunnel into an actual subway line for passenger trains. And then they abandoned that too and sealed the whole thing shut. Today, that tunnel sits beneath Rochester as a massive underground graffiti gallery that artists have been secretly decorating for decades. One tunnel served 3 completely different purposes across its lifetime and ended up as an accidental art museum buried beneath a city that clearly could not make up its mind. 24. A father once made a promise to his young daughter on a beach in Arizona and then quietly disappeared from her life for years. What nobody knew was that he had been secretly building her something extraordinary in the desert. He constructed an 18-room castle entirely out of salvaged trash, stone, and recycled materials with his bare hands. Hidden inside that castle was a dungeon built specifically because his daughter had once mentioned wanting one. He finished the castle just before he died, and his daughter lived inside it for the rest of her life, completely surrounded by her father's obsession. 25. Beneath Kansas City, Missouri sits one of the most quietly bizarre business addresses in the entire country, and most Americans have never heard of it. Subtropolis is a 55 million square foot underground business park carved entirely out of a limestone mine with its own internal highway system running through the chambers. Real companies operate legitimate businesses down there daily. Trucks drive through underground highways delivering actual goods to actual loading docks inside a cave. The limestone keeps temperatures perfect year-round without any energy cost. Someone looked at an abandoned mine and decided it was prime commercial real estate. 26. Texas has always had eccentric millionaires, but this particular wealthy man took privacy to a genuinely underground level. He built a sprawling multi-million-dollar luxury estate completely buried beneath the dirt somewhere in Texas, just to keep his neighbors from seeing anything he was doing. The home had every comfort imaginable installed beneath the earth, with ventilation systems and artificial lighting, keeping everything functioning normally underground. His neighbors lived above ground, completely unaware that an entire luxury mansion was sitting beneath the landscape nearby. In Texas, the expression, "everything is bigger," apparently also applies to how deep you bury your house. 27. Seattle, Washington once had a flooding problem so severe that city engineers made a decision that accidentally created one of the strangest underworlds in American history. They raised the entire street level of the city by 1 full story to fix the drainage issues. But business owners on the ground floor simply refused to move their shops upward. They kept their original storefronts open 1 full story below the new street level. An entire underground district of bars, gambling dens, and businesses operated in that subterranean space for years, completely below the respectable new streets above them. 28. Washington, D.C. has a ghost station hiding beneath DuPont Circle that most residents walk directly over every single day without realizing what is down there. The old trolley station was abandoned when the streetcar system shut down, and the underground space sat empty for years, collecting silence and dust. Someone eventually decided to convert it into an underground food court, which sounds like a perfectly reasonable idea. It failed completely and was abandoned again shortly after. DC had an underground trolley station, turned it into a food court, watched the food court fail, and then just left the whole thing sitting there underground. 29. Utah has a sandstone cave that a local couple looked at and immediately thought would make a perfect underground tavern and dinosaur museum. The Moki Cave sat naturally carved into the desert rock and required almost no convincing to become exactly what they imagined. They installed a bar inside ancient sandstone, added dinosaur tracks to the walls, and opened the whole thing to the public as a roadside attraction. Visitors could drink inside a cave while examining prehistoric footprints pressed into the walls around them. Utah created an underground bar museum hybrid inside a natural cave, and somehow that felt completely normal for Utah. 30. Kentucky had a cave system so spectacular that corporate owners realized tourists would pay serious money to experience it underground. The mammoth cave operators built underground dining rooms and carved walking trails directly into the cave chambers to lure visitors away from competing above-ground hotels nearby. Guests ate meals surrounded by ancient cave formations, hundreds of feet beneath the Kentucky surface while rival hotels above ground scrambled for business. The cave owners essentially built a restaurant inside the earth and used geology as a marketing strategy against their competition. Mammoth Cave turned its underground inconvenience into its most profitable selling point. 31. An eccentric industrialist in Illinois looked at his private lake and decided the most logical place to build a ballroom was directly underneath it. He constructed a massive watertight underground ballroom beneath the bed of his own estate lake and invited guests to parties held below the water above their heads. Guests danced underneath an actual lake without the lake knowing anything about it. The industrialist watched their faces when they realized where they were standing and apparently found that reaction worth every single penny of the construction cost. Illinois has always produced interesting millionaires, but this one built differently. 32. Deadwood, South Dakota was built on gold, and everyone in town knew that gold had a way of disappearing before it reached the tax collector. A secret network of basement passages connected saloons directly to hidden gold refineries buried beneath the town's streets. Precious metals were quietly moved through those underground tunnels, away from government inspectors walking above. Deadwood had a legitimate surface reputation as a Wild West town and an entirely separate underground economy running beneath it simultaneously. The gold that built Deadwood above ground was being secretly processed and smuggled in the dark spaces directly below it. 33. Boston, Massachusetts built America's very first subway tunnel in 1897, and parts of that original system are still down there today, completely sealed off from modern commuters. Abandoned platforms sit frozen in time behind bricked-up walls beneath the active Green Line tracks. Century-old rusted streetcars are reportedly still parked in those sealed sections, exactly where they were left decades ago. Modern passengers ride their daily commute just feet away from perfectly preserved transit history that nobody officially acknowledges is sitting there. Boston built the future of transportation and then quietly walled off its own past behind it. 34. Early settlers in Idaho discovered that a volcanic lava tube near Shoshone stayed naturally frozen solid throughout the entire year, regardless of the outside temperature. The cave maintained freezing temperatures through summer heat without any mechanical assistance whatsoever. Settlers immediately recognized what they had found and began using the lava tube as a massive free underground refrigerator to store food and supplies through the warm months. Nature had spent thousands of years creating a perfect geological freezer, and Idaho settlers walked in and started stacking their groceries inside without a second thought. The cave had no opinion about any of this. 35. Beneath the streets of Detroit, Michigan, a mining operation has been running since 1906 that most residents living directly above it have never thought about once. A massive salt mine stretches across 1,500 acres, running 1,200 feet beneath the city, with its own underground truck highway system carved through the salt deposits. Full-size trucks drive through underground roads beneath Detroit daily, delivering equipment and hauling salt back out. The city above has traffic jams and construction delays, while an entirely separate transportation network operates smoothly 1,000 feet below in complete silence and total darkness. 36. The Biltmore Estate in North Carolina is already famous for being the largest private home ever built in America, but it has been hiding something behind a library bookshelf for over a century. A hidden door concealed in the library wall opens into a subterranean tunnel system that runs beneath the massive estate. The tunnels were designed specifically to move alcohol secretly through the property without guests or staff observing the transportation. America's grandest mansion had a secret underground alcohol delivery system built directly into its architecture because apparently walking wine through the hallways was considered insufficiently discreet for the Vanderbilt family. 37. Someone in Indiana decided that a hardware store was the perfect cover for something that had absolutely nothing to do with hardware. Beneath an ordinary-looking hardware store on a regular street sat a fully functioning secret bowling alley and bar built during Prohibition and hidden completely from law enforcement above. Customers walked into a hardware shop buying nails and lumber, while other customers descended into the basement to bowl and drink illegally underneath them. The operation ran successfully for years because nobody suspects a hardware store of harboring a bowling alley in its basement. Indiana kept that secret surprisingly well. 38. St. Paul, Minnesota sits on top of a soft sandstone foundation, and early city workers discovered that sandstone carves easily and holds its shape remarkably well underground. They carved miles of tunnels beneath the city, originally designed for sewage management, which already sounds unpleasant enough. But the story takes a genuinely unexpected turn, because those same tunnels were later discovered to have the perfect temperature and humidity conditions for aging blue cheese. The city's sewage tunnels became commercial cheese-aging caves used by local producers for years. St. Paul turned its underground waste infrastructure into a dairy operation and nobody questioned it. 39. Workers were blasting routine limestone at a quarry in Wisconsin when something unexpected happened that stopped the entire operation immediately. The blast cracked open a hidden cavern that had been sealed beneath the earth for millions of years with nobody knowing it was there. Inside that accidental discovery sat uniquely preserved cephalopod fossils dating back hundreds of millions of years in perfect condition. A routine Tuesday morning quarry blast accidentally unlocked a prehistoric time capsule buried beneath Wisconsin farmland. The workers came to work expecting an ordinary day of rock blasting and accidentally discovered millions of years of geological history instead. 40. The town of Hershey, Pennsylvania smells like chocolate because an underground pipe network runs beneath it, pumping raw steam and liquid chocolate components between factories constantly. Milton Hershey built an entire subterranean utility system beneath his company town specifically to move chocolate production materials from one facility to another without interrupting street-level operations above. Beneath the sidewalks of a regular American town, chocolate is literally flowing through underground pipes on a daily basis. Residents walk above a chocolate pipeline every single morning on their way to work, and most of them have simply accepted that as a completely normal Tuesday. 41. William Randolph Hearst built one of the most extravagant private estates in California history, and the indoor swimming pool was still not impressive enough for him. He constructed a complete Roman-themed pool buried entirely underground beneath his hilltop castle. Every inch of it was decorated with genuine gold leaf tiles imported specifically for his private use. The pool existed exclusively for parties hosted by a man who felt regular outdoor swimming was beneath his standards. Hearst did not just build a pool. He built an underground Roman empire purely for his own personal afternoon swim. 42. Newport, Rhode Island has always been famous for its stunning Gilded Age mansions sitting along the coastline, but the real activity was happening underneath those properties. Hidden basement passages connected high society estates directly to seaside docks running beneath the manicured lawns above ground. Wealthy families use those underground corridors to smuggle illegal alcohol and high-stakes roulette wheels into private gatherings without public knowledge. The most respected addresses in Newport had criminal infrastructure quietly built into their foundations. America's wealthiest citizens were running underground smuggling operations beneath their most respectable properties and simply calling it a dinner party. 43. Near Los Angeles International Airport, there is a perfectly ordinary-looking grassy hill hiding something deeply unsettling beneath its surface. City engineers constructed a concrete bunker underneath that hill, specifically to store low-level radioactive medical waste generated during the Cold War. Thousands of passengers drive past that exact hill every single day, heading to catch their flights. None of them have any idea that radioactive material was buried in the ground directly beside the road they are driving on. Los Angeles built a nuclear waste storage facility next to its busiest airport and simply landscaped a hill neatly on top of it. 44. A private landowner in Arkansas decided that having a natural cave on his property was simply not interesting enough without some serious improvements. He developed an underground tourist attraction featuring two completely silent subterranean lakes sitting deep inside the cave system. Those lakes have never been successfully measured for depth, despite numerous serious attempts over many decades. Blind cave fish populate those dark waters, having evolved entirely without eyes in the permanent underground darkness. Arkansas has two bottomless silent lakes filled with blind fish sitting underneath private land, and the owner built a business around charging people to stare nervously into them. 45. Walt Disney World. In Florida looks like pure magic from the surface, and that magic is made possible by something hidden completely underground. Disney built a massive network of tunnels beneath the entire Magic Kingdom, so costumed characters could move around without appearing in the wrong themed area above. Cinderella cannot be spotted walking casually through Tomorrowland, so she travels underground between appearances instead. The tunnels keep the illusion above ground completely intact at all times. The magic of Disney is manufactured in underground corridors beneath the park, where no paying guest ever gets to see it actually happening. 46. Omaha, Nebraska had a banker who took the concept of home security to a level no reasonable person had ever previously considered necessary. This paranoid financial tycoon constructed his entire family residence inside a massive, reinforced subterranean vault structure buried beneath Omaha. The walls were built to the exact specifications of a commercial banking vault designed to survive serious external threats. His family ate breakfast and went to sleep inside what was essentially a giant underground safe every single day. Nebraska produced a man so deeply concerned about security that he turned his own family home into an enormous buried vault. 47. Hot Springs, Arkansas was one of Al Capone's favorite destinations during Prohibition, and the city's infrastructure was quietly arranged around his very specific needs. Underground tunnels connected luxury hotels directly to illegal casino operations running beneath the respectable surface of the resort town. The moment law enforcement appeared at a hotel entrance, Capone could disappear underground and emerge somewhere completely different within seconds. Hot Springs essentially built its entire underground layout around the convenience of one extremely famous criminal. The city had beautiful bathhouses sitting above ground and a complete criminal escape network running silently beneath every single one of them. 48. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania holds one of the most emotionally significant underground networks in American history, sitting beneath its historic neighborhoods. A secret system of interconnected basements and hidden passages connects properties that once served as stations on the Underground Railroad. Freedom seekers moving toward the north were hidden in those underground spaces by Quaker families who built concealed rooms into their home foundations specifically for that purpose. The people above ground in Philadelphia were declaring American independence and writing liberty into law. The people below ground were quietly living that same liberty out in the dark spaces beneath the city streets. 49. Colorado has a natural cave system called Cave of the Winds that tourists have visited for over a century to see its impressive underground formations. But somewhere deeper inside those chambers away from the standard tour path, something unexpected was quietly installed by the guides themselves. A hidden bar was carved into a dark stalactite room deep inside the cave for those who knew to ask about it specifically. Tour guides built themselves a secret underground drinking establishment inside a natural cave that people paid admission to visit. Colorado put a bar inside geology and apparently decided that counted as perfectly normal hospitality. 50. Dallas, Texas has a giant showroom building called the Infomart that looks impressive enough from the outside, but the real investment was made entirely underground beneath it. A massive tech bunker was constructed below the building, engineered specifically to shield corporate servers from electromagnetic pulse attacks. Companies paid serious money to store sensitive data in an underground facility designed to survive the kind of disruption that would destroy every unprotected electronic system above ground. Dallas built a secret underground fortress for corporate data beneath a regular-looking building, and the servers inside have been quietly humming away in the dark ever since. 51. A wealthy industrialist in Rhode Island had a mansion sitting near a private beach, and the walk across public grass to reach it was apparently completely unacceptable to him. He hired workers to blast a 100-foot tunnel through solid granite directly beneath his property, connecting the mansion to the beach privately. No public grass would ever touch his shoes again. The man spent an extraordinary amount of money solving a problem that most people would solve by simply walking a different direction. Rhode Island produced a man who blasted through solid rock rather than cross a public lawn. 52. Baltimore, Maryland has a waterfront neighborhood called Fells Point that looks perfectly charming and historical from the street level above. But beneath those cobblestone streets, a network of subterranean brick tunnels runs from waterfront bars straight into residential basements nearby. Those tunnels were used to move illegal maritime cargo away from port inspectors and customs officials working the docks above. Ships would arrive carrying smuggled goods, and within hours those goods had disappeared underground into the city without a single official seeing anything. Baltimore built an entire underground smuggling infrastructure beneath one of its most picturesque and historically celebrated neighborhoods. 53. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania has a street called Canton Avenue that holds the official title of steepest public street in the entire United States, and that distinction comes with a deeply strange engineering secret. Beneath that dramatically inclined road sits a massive underground structural vault, built specifically to prevent the street from sliding down the hill it climbs. Without that hidden underground support system, Canton Avenue would simply collapse downward under its own weight and gravity. Pittsburgh essentially built an invisible underground foundation just to keep one famously steep street from destroying itself. The street is celebrated above ground and secretly held together below it. 54. Idaho has a massive freezing limestone cave system that one determined family decided to turn into a personal tourist business built entirely around their love of wild bats. The Minnetonka Cave sits deep in the Bear Lake area, maintaining cold temperatures year-round inside its chambers. This family developed the cave into an underground attraction and built their entire local reputation around bringing paying visitors underground to observe bat colonies living in the frozen darkness above. Most families build businesses around things people actually enjoy. This Idaho family built one around cold, dark caves and the creatures that sleep hanging upside down inside them. 55. Chicago had a theater cooling problem in the early 20th century, and the solution involved something already running beneath the city streets. Corporate theater owners discovered that the deep freight tunnels below Chicago stayed naturally cold year-round from the surrounding earth. They began using those underground tunnels to pull freezing subterranean air upward into their theaters above, creating what was essentially the world's first makeshift commercial air conditioning system. Chicago theaters became famous for being cool during summer heat, while the actual mechanism keeping audiences comfortable was an underground tunnel network that nobody in the seats ever knew existed beneath them. 56. Newport, Rhode Island mansions were famous for their elaborate ocean view lawns, stretching dramatically toward the water below. But one particular mansion had a secret running beneath that perfectly manicured lawn that guests never discovered. A stone tunnel was built underground, connecting the main house directly to the cliff edge overlooking the ocean. Servants used that tunnel to carry tea and refreshments to the waterfront without ever crossing the visible lawn above. Guests enjoyed their ocean view tea without ever seeing the staff who delivered it. Newport built an underground servant corridor so wealthy guests could pretend their refreshments appeared by magic. 57. Illinois has an old lead mining town called Galena that produced enormous quantities of metal during the 19th century and left behind a remarkable network of deep abandoned mining shafts beneath the streets. When Prohibition arrived, local bootleggers looked at those abandoned shafts and immediately recognized their obvious potential. They retrofitted the old mining tunnels into secret underground drinking lounges buried deep enough that sound never reached the surface above. Galena had spent decades pulling lead out of the ground, and Prohibition-era criminals thanked the miners by moving right back into those same holes with illegal alcohol and comfortable furniture. 58. Cleveland, Ohio built a bridge called the Veterans Memorial Bridge that most residents cross regularly, without knowing what is hiding directly underneath the road surface they drive on. Engineers constructed a complete lower-deck subway level built directly into the bridge structure designed to carry passenger trains across the river below. The subway level operated for a few decades, carrying actual passengers before the city simply decided to abandon it permanently. Cleveland had a functioning subway line built inside a bridge, and then quietly stopped using it and sealed it off. The trains stopped running, and the empty level just stayed there, frozen in time. 59. Wind Cave in South Dakota is one of the longest and most complex cave systems ever discovered in the entire world, and the first explorers who mapped it did so in the most uncomfortable way imaginable. They squeezed through tiny openings in the rock barely wide enough for a human body to pass through in complete darkness, carrying nothing but candles. Those passages led to chambers that connected to more passages that connected to more chambers, going deeper into the earth with no clear end. Early explorers spent years crawling through pitch-black holes, underground mapping spaces that had absolutely no practical value to anyone living above them. 60. During World War II, Boeing was operating a massive bomber factory in Washington state that needed to be hidden from potential enemy aircraft flying overhead, looking for targets. The solution was genuinely extraordinary and slightly absurd at the same time. Workers built an entire fake suburban neighborhood on top of the factory roof, complete with fake houses, fake trees, and fake streets designed to look completely normal from the air above. Beneath that fake neighborhood, the factory was building real military aircraft around the clock. Washington state had a secret bomber factory hidden underneath a pretend suburb, and enemy aircraft flew directly over it without knowing. 61. Wisconsin has a place called House on the Rock that already qualifies as one of the strangest buildings in America. But what sits underneath it is even harder to explain. Alex Jordan carved out a sprawling underground complex beneath a natural rock pinnacle and filled those dark chambers with thousands of automated musical instruments. Enormous mechanical orchestras perform completely alone in underground rooms, with no human musicians anywhere present. Jordan spent decades collecting these machines and installing them beneath his rock. Wisconsin produced a man who built an underground concert hall and never once felt the need to invite a real musician. 62. Kansas City, Missouri had a prohibition problem that required some seriously creative underground thinking to manage. An intricate system of hidden garage bays was constructed beneath ordinary residential properties across the city. Those underground bays were designed specifically to unload illegal liquor trucks rapidly and completely out of public sight. Trucks would pull into what looked like a normal driveway and descend underground where entire delivery operations ran in total secrecy. The streets above looked completely unremarkable while underground. A sophisticated illegal distribution network processed deliveries around the clock. Kansas City hid an entire bootlegging operation beneath its most ordinary-looking neighborhoods. 63. San Francisco, California, once had a massive natural creek called Isless Creek, running openly through the city for thousands of years. Then real estate developers decided it was taking up too much valuable space above ground. City engineers quietly diverted the entire creek underground into a hidden storm sewer system buried beneath the streets. An entire historic waterway that shaped San Francisco's natural geography simply vanished underground so that the land above could be sold and developed. The creek still flows beneath San Francisco today, completely invisible to every single resident walking above its hidden current every morning. 64. An Ohio farmer looked at his frozen pond every winter and saw something most people would completely ignore. He saw a business opportunity and immediately started digging underground beside it. He constructed a massive hand-dug stone chamber beneath his farm, engineered to harvest winter ice from the pond and preserve it through the entire summer. Blocks of ice were cut from the frozen surface and stored underground, where the earth kept temperatures cold enough to prevent melting for months. One Ohio farmer built a completely natural underground freezer using nothing but stone, determination, and a very good idea about ice. 65. Virginia sits along the East Coast, and during the Cold War, that geography made it extremely important for a deeply classified project. The federal government and AT&T quietly constructed massive underground concrete bunkers at strategic points across the Virginia landscape. Those bunkers were engineered to house telephone switching equipment capable of surviving a direct nuclear blast and keeping communication lines functioning after an atomic attack. America built an underground telephone network designed to outlast the apocalypse beneath Virginia farmland and suburban neighborhoods. The residents living above those bunkers had absolutely no idea what was sitting quietly beneath their feet every single day. 66. Connecticut had a wealthy art collector who decided that storing his collection inside a normal building was not nearly secure enough. He hired workers to blast a massive vault directly into the rock of the hillside behind his home. The underground chamber was engineered to protect artwork from natural light, humidity, and temperature changes that destroy valuable pieces over time. He essentially built a private underground museum, hidden inside a hillside behind his own house. The collection sat completely invisible to the outside world inside a man-made cave. Connecticut produced a collector so serious about his art that he buried it in a mountain. 67. Idaho has a massive freshwater lake called Lake Pend Oreille, sitting peacefully in the northern part of the state. Beneath that calm surface, the United States Navy was hiding something that made absolutely no geographical sense. The military constructed deep underwater testing structures on the lakebed to test naval torpedo designs completely hidden from public view. The Navy needed calm, deep water for testing and found it inside a landlocked Idaho lake hundreds of miles from any ocean. America was secretly testing ocean warfare weapons inside a mountain lake, and the local fish had absolutely no say in the matter whatsoever. 68. New York City once had a secret postal system running beneath its streets that most residents living directly above never knew existed. A network of underground tubes stretched 27 miles beneath the city, shooting mail canisters between post offices at 30 miles per hour using pressurized air. Thousands of letters traveled through those underground tunnels daily, while New Yorkers walked above, completely unaware their mail was moving faster underground than the traffic above them ever could. The system eventually shut down, and those tubes still sit beneath New York City right now, perfectly silent and absolutely forgotten by almost everyone. 69. Mark Twain wrote about a Missouri cave that seemed like pure fiction, but the real history inside those walls is far stranger than anything he imagined. Jesse James, the notorious outlaw, used that same cave system as a hideout while evading a statewide manhunt that had authorities searching everywhere above ground. James felt comfortable enough in those underground chambers that he carved his own name directly into the cave walls as a personal signature. A wanted criminal hiding underground in Missouri decided it was a perfectly reasonable idea to leave his autograph on the walls of his own secret hideout. 70. New Jersey has an industrial history connected to oil that most people understand as a surface-level operation involving refineries running above ground. But beneath those refinery grounds, Standard Oil quietly constructed a classified network of underground industrial tunnels designed to pump oil secretly across state lines. The pipeline grid ran completely hidden from outside view, allowing the company to move product while bypassing normal inspection and oversight processes. New Jersey had an entire secret underground oil transportation network, operating beneath its industrial landscape for years. Most people living near those refineries had absolutely no idea what was moving beneath them daily. 71. Michigan produced some of the most powerful automobile industry tycoons in American history, and at least one of them applied that engineering obsession directly to his own home. A car industry magnate built a secret underground escape tunnel running from his mansion's master bedroom directly to a hidden boathouse on the lake nearby. The tunnel was engineered with the same precision and seriousness that went into building automobiles on a factory floor. This man designed a personal emergency exit from his own bedroom, straight to a getaway boat sitting on the water. Michigan built cars. This Michigan man built escapes. America has 71 underground secrets hiding beneath its streets, and we just uncovered every single one of them. Now the real question is, which one completely broke your brain the most? Drop it in the comments right now because we are reading every single one. If this video took you somewhere you never expected to go, then hit that like button and subscribe to Dumbest Things because we are just getting started and the next one goes even deeper than this.